love me forever? Or is it just a hit and run? And you got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again.
Lucky Podcast. Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. Yep. Talking wide receivers.
Here we go.
Let's get
the hottest group right now on the live wire.
Mm-hmm.
The program changers. That's what you call them. The program changers.
So let me tell you something, man. Audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, locked in every day. Dropped 2 shows yesterday. We got 2 shows scheduled already to drop today. Got the weekend jumping off. We're going to have a special show on Saturday. Marcus Freeman meets with the media. Pro Day, 21st. The 20th practice. Offensive lineman talking on. So we're going to talk about Coach Rudolph and offensive lineman. Man, we're going to have a bunch of content on top of pot of gold defense going into next week. Forever committed to doing what we do because we are the home of the misguided passion. And we're committed to making sure that we continue to spin it
different.
Gotta spin it different. Today, I want to break down not all of the receivers, but the ones, man. There's some receivers in this class that received pot of gold left. I'll say this.
We're recruiting some guys that can win some awards or what?
Out of all the offers, the fact that Dylan Faison was the first commit.
Hey, he said, I already seen what y'all can do with my brother. I don't need to think about it.
And his film is better than his brother's film in high school. His brother was like the 43rd best lacrosse player in the nation. He's the #1 lacrosse player in the nation. His brother is putting on like clinics every match in lacrosse.
He's like a wizard out there.
This dude, I looked at Dylan Faison's film, football and lacrosse. His lacrosse film, this dude is averaging like 4.5 goals a game. Something stupid.
4.5 goals a game.
He has games with 7 goals, 6 goals. Just doing the dumb.
Oh, okay. So he all around.
Plays both ways, plays defensive back. His film shows him getting interceptions. His film shows him returning punts, kickoffs, wide receiver. He's just a sophomore. And people are really whining. BB and CC up in his piece.
Crying.
We'll get to it, though. We'll get to it. First commitment. Dylan Faison in the wide receiver room. What stood out about his film? Because I know you watched it. You called me and was like, yo, this dude is putting in work, but he's so thin.
Yes, he plays football like he plays lacrosse. All the little back juking and spinning and stuff. I mean, this is a cross player that plays football, but he reminds me a lot of Chris Fink, being very intricate with in between the hashes. He's not so much of an outside guy, obviously, like his brother. But the fact that he's fearless, he's going to stick his head in there. He's going to make it hard to tackle him. So he's a good tunnel screen type of guy, short yardage. He's very quick in short space. It looks like how he gets away from guys in lacrosse. Very, very versatile in that aspect. But the thing that stands out the most is that he's quick. He's got solid hands, and he makes guys miss. Stuff that you can really build on. Obviously, he's got a lacrosse body. So in terms of him and his brother got a lacrosse body. So Jordan has proved to be holding up. But he's a guy that can get 19, 20 receptions and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
He's not a volume guy. It's a get it to him. He can get you the more than expected, and you can live with that. So I do think that it's a good addition. a compliment to his brother. I think it's always good to have a couple Chris Fink, Jordan Faison, some floating around on the team because they're going to compliment a guy like a Chris Mitchell. They're going to compliment a guy like JT, Jaden Grayhouse, Deion Cosley, guys that when it gets tough and you got that third or fourth cornerback guarding our Jordan Faisons or his brother, Chris Fink, you like that little matchup. You know, you can feel comfortable. Oh, he's on the linebacker. Psh, I don't have to make this too hard. I can just go to matchups. That's really what is going to come down to with all the talent that we have. Denbro's going to be calling plays for matchups because those are going to take advantage of. And then when it breaks down, that's when everybody else gets involved. And, you know, thinking about shout out to LeBron and JJ Redick's podcast. I actually watched it. It wasn't too bad. A little embellishing, but it wasn't too bad.
I mean, you're going to get embellishment with Bron. That comes with the territory.
He was 8, 9 years old. And he's running a high-level IQ basketball plays. All right.
Oh, my God.
And JJ's just eating it up. He's like, oh, yeah.
Eating it up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
But I can't appreciate that they doing the terminology and they you know putting basketball in the conversation, which is good. It ain't like Gilbert Arenas podcast where they talking about all type of crazy nonsense. It ain't even basketball no more over there.
It's good entertainment though.
It's good entertainment.
Good. Gilbert is good. Kenyon Martin is definitely good entertainment. Kenyon Martin
so far off from basketball to sometimes.
Man.
I'm like, man.
And Brandon Jennings, I feel bad for him. But sometimes I just want to tell him
in there. He don't really fit.
Sometimes I want to tell him, dude, D Rose ran you out the league. Stop.
Yeah, it was unfortunate they came in the league at the same time. Brandon Jennings was that deal now.
He was.
He was.
He was the number one player in the nation. And then Oak Hill came to Chicago to play Simeon on national TV. And
he talked about it though. He talked about it.
The rest is history, dog.
Yeah, he mentioned it. He knows stuff.
Yeah, dog. You think you cold? Coming from California, come up to these Chicago streets.
That's right.
Bring that pretty California basketball to these Chicago streets and see what happens.
That's right.
Bronny and them came to Chicago, Sierra Canyon. When it was Bronny, what's the left-handed kid from Chicago?
Dior or Alvin
No,
Bailey?
it wasn't Bailey. Bailey's from Chicago. Amari.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. He transferred to Sierra Canyon. You think I don't know Chicago Hoopers? Are you kidding me? Yes. They came here and almost lost. Closest game they played all year. They came here and almost lost to a suburban squad. It wasn't even a city squad. Hey, man, if you got a perfect season, you don't want to come here. You don't do.
Okay. So you saying you coming?
You don't want to come here. Don't do that. Don't put your perfect season on the line. That was an ESPN game, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's when ESPN basketball games, when they had high school basketball games, that's when it was at its peak. Yeah, because they had all the good matchups back in.
So, ladies and gentlemen, can I do a PSA before we get to the wide receivers? Just indulge us for a second, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I apologize, the reason we were late is because of me. I'm just soft. I'm just soft. But when you get put in the trick bag,
lady, man, it ain't nothing wrong
when your
with
lady
that.
puts you in the trick bag, so you know my lady, man, she hasn't been feeling well. She's been down for the count, bro. 10 minutes before the show, she texts me. Now, this is how she sets me up. Love. Can you run to the store and pick up a medicine ball tea from Starbucks?
Starbucks, yeah.
And get me a COVID test. Now, this is 10 minutes before the show, love. 10 minutes.
No, that's a tall order now.
You could have texted this an hour ago. Because you were up.
Walking around. Yeah, you saw me walking
you
around, putting my stuff on, hanging out.
Yeah. But this is how she words it, love. So for all you fellas that may be married one day, in a relationship right now, even married, be very wise. Pick up the hints. Read between the lines.
You got to.
The exact text was, let me read you the text. Can you get me a COVID test and go to Starbucks for me when you're done with your show?
Oh, yeah. That's a trick bag.
Trick bag. Trick bag.
That's a trick.
Lose.
Don't
Don't you do it.
Don't listen to that thing for
No. See,
when you're done, you gotta be next level. You can't.
Oh, that was the setup, boy.
Because when you done means I need it right now. Don't.
See, you have to understand that language. You got to understand that language.
Because it's two things you can't do. You can't listen to it.
No.
And then don't get mad. Don't hit them with nothing where it feels like you catching the attitude or you ain't just yes, babe, I'll get it for you. That's all you can really say.
That's it.
Anything else,
that's it.
Is subject to a long day.
That's it. So what did I do?
Man.
10 minutes before the show. I'm like, yo, we got to push the show back.
Yeah, I got to go. I got to go do this real quick.
I hit left like, hey, I got to push this show back. Because the one thing I'm not going to do, Notre Dame fans can be mad for the late show, but
that's right.
I got to live here. I got to live here.
You ain't got to live here.
And a 5-minute trip, because literally Walgreens is 5 minutes away.
Yeah, it's right there. It's close.
Turned into a 30-minute trip. 30-minute trip, right?
Something
was wrong with the order at Starbucks.
Right.
Yeah, something was wrong with the order at Starbucks. Everybody at Walgreens working, acting like they didn't see me standing at the register for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
they're back there talking about whatever.
Floating behind the desk. They ain't even
None of that. And then I say to myself, let me stop and get myself a breakfast sandwich while I'm out. Because I haven't had a chance to eat.
That's right.
McDonald's. I work, man, can I get 2 Egg McMuffins? You know what they tell me when I get up to the window?
Oh, it's lunchtime.
No. Can you pull around and wait? Pull up and wait.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
For Egg McMuffins?
You don't have them hot and ready? What are you talking about?
It is like the staple of your breakfast menu. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Egg McMuffins now.
Yeah,
man, let me tell you something. Now I'm waiting 5 to 7 minutes just in the drive-thru for Egg McMuffin. So, hey, that's why we're late. That's why we're late. Wide receiver narrative. Let me tell you something that's going to make you happy. Right about now, Jordan Faison is probably the 4th fastest player in the wide receiver room.
Okay.
That's just from my eye. He's definitely not faster than Jaden Harrison. He's definitely not faster than Chris Mitchell. Okay.
Oh, what about
one of the freshmen? I think one of the freshmen probably has him.
Isaiah. What's his name? Cam's fast, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah Bond's fast. Not Isaiah Bond.
KK Smith is pretty fast.
KJ's, yeah. I mean, we got some speed.
So wait a minute now.
They talked.
You remember Cam Williams?
Speed.
You remember Cam Williams did the little show where he asked everybody else who's the fastest in the room? Nobody ever said Jordan Faison.
No.
Nobody said Jordan Faison. Yeah. Nobody said Jordan Faison. See, remember when everybody jumped on us and we were like, yo, Jordan Faison doesn't need to be that dude. No. He's great. If he can be 2, 3, that's perfect.
We're talking about 19 receptions now, guys. We are nominated to band all time on 19 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
He could have those same 19 receptions this year and be perfectly fine. Hell, it'll be a benefit. Because if he has 19, Chris Mitchell need to have about 55. Jaden Thomas need to have about 30. Right? We need to be throwing that ball around. But yeah, you're right. He doesn't need to be the marquee receiver this year. He don't. We need other guys to be filling into the poster. You know, you talk about that poster before the pregame, right? That poster before the pregame where they talk about, oh, these are the highlight players of the game. Jordan Faison should never be on that, but he's going to be in the game making plays. And that's okay. This is a role-based performance team.
Mm-hmm.
Role-based. We don't need any Michael Jordans right now. But we got just the right enough of the right pieces where the quarterback do his job, the receivers do their job. We know the O-line and tight end is going to be there and the running back is going to be there. We just got to steer straight on the course.
Man, that's funny. Commander Luke said, take John Witherspoon advice. to women, which I've never heard, and John Witherspoon has a terrible resume as far as women. Just go check it out. I mean, if you want to take his advice, feel free. You know,
benefit you though.
You know what my life is? Celebrating 25 years of happily wedded life, 33 in a relationship. So I'll take the way I've handled things. It's all right in my book.
Yeah.
It's all right in my book.
You crack the code. You know what the messages mean.
Tree is known by the fruit it bears, my brother. 25 blissful years. That's my fruit. This marriage tree. Oh, John Witherspoon, rest in peace. Love that dude. Track record with women.
Not the
shaky, dog. No, kind of shaky. Comedians and women, man, they just, I don't know.
The problem is that comedians are funny and women love funny guys.
Always. They can
even
be
the ugly ones. If you ugly and you funny, you still in a good standing. So it's a gift and a curse. That's like Miguel. What they asked Miguel, do you sing when you out outside of the studio and all that? He said, no, it's too easy. If I had Miguel's voice, it'd be too easy. I'll be at the cash register just checking stuff out, just singing what I got on the man. Listen,
Miguel's a hell of a songwriter too. You just talk about the songs he's written that he didn't perform.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that got a whole bunch of credits. And you be like, I didn't even know you wrote that. I didn't even know you wrote that. That's right.
Let's get to the wide receivers, bro. Devin Carter. Cedar Grove High School down in Ellenwood, Georgia, left. And that, ladies and gentlemen, just give us some time, because I know as soon as we start sharing the screen and talking about the film, Left is probably going to be over the top. He's probably going to be over the top. But here we go, man. Devin Carter, 2026 wide receiver.
I already like it. He singled up, one-on-one, got pressed. He got release packages and just pure speed, good hands. Oh, I need him to finish that, though. Stay on your feet, young man. Stay on your feet. So we see he got the release packages. He's got some separation. Nice over-the-shoulder catch. You can win with that. You can win with that. You can tell he's the deep threat that we've been looking for.
We're going to see a lot of that today.
Quick off the start of the football. He's used to being the number one because he's that boundary receiver. Now, he's not really necessarily running too many cuts like Isaiah Burris, but the man got Elijah Burris, but the man can separate from guys, which is what you want to see. He's not a guy that's going to jump and catch the football. I hate watching that, jumping and catching the football. He's going to run through the catch. He looks comfortable with the ball in the air. I would like to see him do a little bit better, a high point in it, but he does a good job of being able to continue to separate. It's one thing when guys try to track the ball and they slow down, he ain't slowing down. So shout out to his quarterback.
That's one thing I like about this young man. When you see him, especially on post routes, you see a lot of kids do the most to run a post. His upper body is very quiet.
Yeah, it's not going to give you a bunch of movement, but you just see him just naturally start running it, and you're like, whoa, and then you behind. So that's a very controlled route runner. You can tell that he plays with a base. He's not just falling all over the place or, making it look too hard. He's making these cuts look real easy because he's fast. He knows how to use his speed. He plays a little bit inside outside. Now he's not it clearly looks like he's not anything below a 10-yard route runner. It's the guy you're sitting on the track and just saying, let's just see if they can catch up. But I do like the fact that he can get busy a little bit with the football. His strength will probably be more so catching the ball down the field. The screens look good, but I think we got enough screen guys. If you had to put your money on it, Chris Mitchell will probably be our go-to screen guy.
Jaden Harrison, and the way they use him in motion in the slot in practice, Chris Mitchell will get some, but Jaden Harrison is going to get a lot of screen action too.
And that's one of those good problems to have.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys that you can just plug in and just say, you probably look good if we give you some of these type of plays and, you know, put you in these type of positions. You know you're a good player when they can just throw it to you and you can make 5 out of nothing, right? I like his quarterback, man. His quarterback not too bad, but he
come
probably,
for the receiver, leave with the quarterback.
That's okay. You know, he probably don't play enough positions to get recruited by us, but that's all right. But him, I just like the fact that he got separation. You know, one of the things that we've had our biggest pouts about was the fact that we don't have guys that can separate, like a Will Fuller can separate from the line of scrimmage all the way down the field. A lot of the receivers we got have been bigger body guys, so it's not been so much of a separation, more of a high point, you know, rangy type of player. But you can see the way we've been recruiting, we getting them small, fast guys. We have them tall, big guys, and everything in between, like a Jaden Greyhouse, that in between receiver. You get a guy like this kid who's in Jordan Faison and his brother who can do everything on the Chris Fink level, and then you get the big outside receivers like the Bo Collins and the Deion Cozy. So you're getting a wide range of receivers that, in my mind, Mike Brown's like, how do I fit you guys into these slots? Right? How do I fit you guys into these roles where you can maximize? But the biggest thing that's going to have to happen in that room first, which they probably already harping on now, is who can block the best, because that's what's going to start you to get on the field. So I don't think receivers put blocking on their tape necessarily, but that's going to be a determining factor of who's getting in there early. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I like this kid, man. I really do. I think he's explosive. Like I said, very quiet upper body when he's route running, and easy speed. Not something that just jumps out, but it's like you look up and you're like, okay.
Yeah, he's not gonna be moving too much up top to know that he's flying.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how Xavier Worthy ran that play, he was moving. And the coolest part is that by the time he finished, it didn't look like he really got going. But you look at the clock, it says 4.21. So that deceptive type of speed. Will was the same. Will was quiet up top, but he had the road runner feet where, you know, they had the little circle thing going. That was how he was looking, but he was just real smooth up top. And you knew it. Once he got the, you know, push, leaning back a little bit, you knew he was off to the races. So that was a telltale sign to just let it go. We're going to throw it as far as we can. So I definitely like that.
Yeah, they hit Georgia, Florida, Texas, California, one guy from Alabama, Michigan, North Carolina. Those were the states. But like I said, the majority, the big bunch of receivers out there on the West Coast in California this year, 3 offers in the state of Georgia. You had another 4 offers in the state of Florida and 4 offers in the state of Texas. So once again, that was Devin Carter, Cedar Grove High School, Cedar Grove, Georgia. 6 foot, 184 pounds left. Kid has a 4.0 GPA, by the way.
Man, it's so funny in high school these days. That's about effort. You turn in your homework, put your name on your paper.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the educational system, so you would know firsthand. Like, hey.
But you know what's interesting? Florida's the number 1 state for education right now. Did you know that? Did you know that? I was surprised when I looked that up. Florida's number 1 in education for high schools and stuff. So surprised, but it's good to see you.
I bet you that bottom of the list. That's funny because I bet you that bottom of the list and pay for teachers.
No, everywhere is bottom in the list. Arizona probably the worst.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Naim Burrow, ladies and gentlemen. Left. Enjoy. That's all I have to say. Naim Burrow.
The swag's right. I like the swag.
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of them kids you just give it to. Okay. Hey, it ain't a play. It's just throw it to you real quick. A sight adjustment. Nobody guarding him? Just get it to you. I already like it. Look, another one. Just Nothing complicated, but he can do all of this. He just off to the races. Catch me if you can. Reminds me a little bit of Jeremiah Smith. How he just is just so explosive with the ball in his hand. Now, Jeremiah Smith's at Ohio State. He's a little bit bigger, but I like it. Way to be shifty at the top of the route. Guys can't get his hands on him. See, all of this tape is always interesting because until somebody gets hands on him, you can't really tell too much. But the fact that guys can't get hands on him is a good sign as well, too. Yo, good route.
Quarterback just didn't see him.
Yep. Way to keep playing. Good throw on the run, quarterback. And now this is just like, yeah, you can't catch me. Just pull away speed. I mean, that's what you're seeing nowadays from these kids. They got that breakaway, second level, second gear type of speed. Got to question the defense is really trying because he makes it look so easy. Another kid that is just blessed with that ability. It reminds me a little bit of how Cam Williams was, man. Just do everything. Take it to the house on easy plays. I mean, this kid is gaining ground when he's running. It's like this. They sped his tape up almost. He probably got a good team around him too. I mean, them boys look like they ain't even boys ain't trying too hard. Okay, we got to press. See, we get off the line. Good speed release. Didn't waste no time. Yeah, I like the finish. Don't go down. No. You gotta go get that touchdown. So that's what I like to see. A guy that can get yards after the catch.
Yeah.
The yak machine. There we go, blocking. What we talk about. But they don't really highlight it too much on their tape. But if you can put it on there, you a step closer to starting. Let's see if he got these release packages we talked so well about. Just great speed off the ball. It's going to make it hard for DBs if they don't get a hand on him to really catch up to him because once he's even, he's leaving. That's what you say about a kid like this. Yeah. It's a joy to watch film like this because it's a kid that you can look at and predict, all right, when in doubt, if we give it to him at 5, he could take that to 15, 20 in crunch time. He's a big-time player. A guy that's comfortable in his space. You know, some guys are just good throwing it up to him. Just throw it up to me. Some guys are good on these bubbles and stuff. There's a kid that damn near doesn't need blocking. You throw it to him with the guy 5 yards off, he might take it to the house, right?
Naim out of Bowles School down in Florida.
And what's
Naim Burrow.
And what's also interesting is the fact that I don't remember tape from 2 or 3 years ago that reminds you of a guy like this, where we're recruiting a different caliber of receiver, a guy that has 7, 8 guys trying to tackle him in the film. You know, we're starting to see the athletic maturity of that room grow. Where we were going from big.
Now this is along with Mike Brown. This is Mike Brown's first evaluation or recruiting class. You like what you see?
I like
from Mike Brown's eyes so far.
These guys look like athletes. You know, these guys look like they're maybe not as technical where they're doing all the cone drills and stuff. These kids are just like, hey. He may not know everything. Yeah. But I can trust him with the ball in his hands. Something that Denbrock is probably super excited about is that he just wants playmakers. We can develop a receiver. We can teach you how to be a receiver, this, that, and the third. But when it comes to being a genuine playmaker, that's what you really want as a starting point, because then you can take it and grow in different directions and everything, you know. And so for a guy like Mike Brown, he can really put his mark on a kid like this because he can refine and define him. There's one thing when you get a kid that's super technical and all of that, and it's like, okay, well, can you make plays? We ain't got to worry about these kids making plays. They can make plays. Man. Now, can we teach you the techniques and all of the high-level IQ stuff as we get there, but which they'll have to learn because teams are going to play zone. You got to learn where to sit in holes. You got to learn that you got to tempo certain routes and there's pace to things and timing and all of that, which is what you'll learn when you get there. But when they're looking at tape and trying to get guys in the room, when you sit in that receiver room on first day and you just see all these freaking natures walk in, you like, oh, I got to sit up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what he can do.
Yeah.
He might do something that you can't teach.
Yeah.
And so when you start bringing guys in that can do stuff that you can't teach, oh, you excited as a coach, excited as a play caller, because that development is a ceiling that's through the roof.
Kaden Finley, Alito, Texas, 6 feet, 192 pounds.
I'm not a fan of Texas receivers. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Left, come on down, man. Come on down. Don't be disrespectful, man. Give the kid a chance.
Clearly, he's fast as hell. Like
right off that, right? Off the bat, right?
See, I got to talk to these defenses out here in high school, man. You got to learn to put some hands on guys because this is track speed right here. I mean, you can tell just from the start of the play, he's explosive off the ball, very, very physical off the ball. And that's sort of the upgraded version of the Deion Colesleys that we get, right? The upgraded versions of the guys we have on roster right now, where guys are just electric. When you think of a receiver room now, you want it to be electric. And the last three guys we've seen are guys that just give it to them. Give it to them because this is just great toughness. The speed stands out, and he's physical and fast off the football. He's not wasting too much time dancing. He's getting to point A to point B. And, I would love to see some more tape of guys showing their hands off, because these are just like you the best athlete on the field. You got the most speed. But I would love to see some challenging catches on film. Jordan Faison's brother has some pretty good catches in traffic to show off the range and the ball skills. Because at this point, you get a room full of freaks. You're just trying to find what they can't do, right? Who can track the ball the best, who can't, who can high point the best, who can't, who has the biggest range, right? Who's the most comfortable in the offense. So those are all technical things. But if you was an artist, a sculptor, you bringing in the biggest, nicest pieces of clay. This is the clay that you got to go to Africa for. Get them big old chunks of iridium and they call it iridium or something like that, and big old cobalt things, and then you just bring it in, and now you start chipping away till you get exactly what you want. But that's the best and highest quality of ingredients, So I do think that, like I said, this is going to come down to Mike Brown having to be a really good coach and knowing how to find the best out of these receivers because, the game is going to change a little bit for these guys and adjusting to not everybody's going to be that number one, which is the interesting part. All these guys we watched are number one receivers on their team.
Yeah.
How do you adjust to being a receiver that may
in that room?
One? Yeah. And how do you, mentally, how do you do that from a role standpoint? Because you got to think, you got guys that Chris Mitchell caught the most balls in college football last year. You're not catching 70 at Notre Dame. It's just not. Now, you probably catch 50, maybe 55, but you got to make the most out of that. And that's where the playmaking has to come in.
Yeah.
And spreading of the wealth is going to be the biggest thing for these receivers to adjust to. Is different than running backs where you're like, oh, yeah, running back by committee, I can save myself, da-da-da. But receivers are a little different because you need to have a number one, but also you need to be able to play off of guys. A guy's going to be used to maybe getting 5 or 6 targets in a game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the biggest challenge in that receiver room because we got the freaks. It's going to be hard to decide who to give it to if we throwing it to some of these kids once or twice and they 30-yard gain, 20-yard gain, and you're like, wait, this ain't the main guy yet. We gotta wait a minute. We might have to shelf this because we too hot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do think that it'll be real interesting to see the pressure on the quarterbacks because you're gonna have a lot of guys open. And if we're not hitting guys deep, if we're not hitting guys where they should be, where they can get the most out of the play, it's going to be an indictment on that quarterback room. But the good thing is that we're raising that level as well in that room. You got guys that are natural throwers, Kenny Minchie, CJ Carr, natural throwers. Angeli's getting better because of his confidence. Riley's still, I still have the outs on Riley just because I already know I ain't have to go. That he wasn't going to be a better thrower than Kenny and CJ. So how does he, if he's put in that position of a starter, 2,800 yards ain't good enough at quarterback no more in Notre Dame.
No.
Like it's not even.
I told you, God has not been fair to me. My fandom, Notre Dame, and the Chicago Bears at the quarterback position.
But that's the thing. It just
a lot of futility, my brother.
It cannot work. You would just be hurting the team if you were a 2,800 yard passer. Because we just have too much talent. And too many guys are going to be open now. Too many guys are going to be on separation. Too many guys are going to be in opportunities where you got to be on time. You got to hit guys in stride. You got to put the ball in a good place. Because if you do that, they can make you look better.
Yeah.
Come on, Riley. Hit the shallow on time. Let him run up the sideline for 20 for you. That's 20 yards for you. But if you throwing it behind guys, hitting guys' feet, throwing it over their head, not consistently accurate, it's not going to be what we're recruiting that room to be. So that's going to be what's going to have to happen because at the end of the day, even with all the talent in the room, there's still going to be a big dog in that room. I don't want to hear no community. We all da-da-da-da because we ain't Alabama with Jerry Jeudy and Devontae and all those boys yet, and Waddle, and we ain't that yet. We definitely got the recruits to get there, absolutely. But until we get to that where they can play rock paper scissors on who's gonna take the big play, we need a big dog in that room to set the pace. That's all I'm saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop debating with Roosevelt in the chat. 12 and 13. That's all you have to say. 12 and 13. While you sitting up here talking all that talk, get over 500.
Oh, what team is Roosevelt? Hold on.
Yeah, the Hurricanes. He's a Miami Hurricanes fan. Hey, ask Mario Cristobal to get over 500 before you go on anybody else's podcast talking crazy. Get over 500.
Come on now, 12 and 13.
That's it. 12 and 13.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
12 and 13.
Didn't y'all
just love to crack on Marcus Freeman, crack on recruit? 12 and 13. 12 and 13.
Because y'all get all the fast kids and can't do nothing with it.
Exactly. That's worse. That's even worse.
Because y'all in the hotbed. Y'all got to come up next to Notre Dame and Chicago
and still real suck.
Players. Still suck. Y'all done had Ray Lewis brought him out of the retirement truck, then got Ed Reed out of the retirement truck to recruit these guys to go 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
How many quarterbacks y'all done ran through down in Miami? About 15?
Don't matter. They still
I got about 15 starters in one season. Y'all got more. This is the whole thing.
Hey, as much as you talk about Florida, in order to change everything, what city they come to left?
Chicago.
Huh? Where they come left? What city did they come to?
I said condos.
I
said
state.
Condos.
Yeah. Where they buying condos at to recruit?
They said we up here so much. We tired of going back and forth. We got to spend a couple days here. Let's just get a Miami condo. Try to plant our flag in this city.
Yeah. Because we can't do it. I don't know why we can't do anything with the Florida boys. So we definitely got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, the Florida boys ain't enough. Clearly, y'all need some girth. Y'all need some physicality.
Yeah.
Y'all come all the way up to Chicago. Because all that fast stuff get you 12 and 13, and you're mad.
12 and 13.
Because at the end of the day, until y'all stop running through a gamut of quarterbacks that start in one season, y'all had 15 in one season start. That's more than receivers started.
Yeah, who they got now? They about to run through Cam Ward. Is that Cam Ward right now?
They had De'Aaron. They had Garcia. They got these,
Yeah, stop, dude. Don't go back and forth with Roosevelt. He's a speed bump. He's a speed bump to know.
Miami's a speed bump. That's what we talking
And
about.
that too. Look, you were talking about Clay, and we're going to go down to San Antonio, Texas. James Madison High School, Jordan Clay.
That's right.
2026 wide receiver right here. Break it
And you
down.
know what's so crazy too?
What's
is
that?
How is it that in the ACC, the same conference y'all in, we're 33-1. What are you talking
34,
about?
right.
In the conference you're in. And you 12-13, losing to Louisville,
12 and 13.
Losing to Duke, losing to these random ACC. Come on now. Come on. Virginia, y'all battling with Virginia to the end. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Speed bump Rosie. That's his nickname right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Jordan Clay, San Antonio, Texas. We love him though. He's a good dude. Roosevelt is a good dude.
That's right.
All right. He went up and got it.
High point in the football. Love to see that. Get a guy a chance. Just give a guy a chance. Just throw it up. Oh, yeah. You just got great blocking. Okay, we want to you got to finish that a little stronger. But hey, you got a team with you.
Can we stop the whining from fans about who Notre Dame is recruiting at wide receiver?
Yeah, we should definitely stop.
Mike Brown, coach.
Mike Brown
loving it.
Mike Brown gives off that Mike Mickens. Where it's like, okay, you see something we don't see, but we know you're going to turn it into something greater. And I can see that the potential in these guys that we're recruiting is that all he needs is just a little refinement, little refine and definement. And we're going to get something real special out of this. We're going to get our Sauce Gardner at receiver. Look at that.
There you go. You've been asking for those type of plays on film.
Challenging catches in the red zone. That's where it counts. Help Riley out. Riley may not be Drew Brees with the accuracy, but if you can just throw it up like this, give guys chances, we're in a good spot. Great over-the-shoulder
finish.
Concentration. Don't get tackled. Don't go down. Make a good play and make it better and go score a touchdown. So that's good to see as well. Okay, blocking. Ooh, put it on him. Yep, hold him up. Yep, get him out the club. That's right. Use his size well. The release packages look all right. Don't give up on it. Just throw it to him. Just throw it up.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 184 left. 6'3", 184.
I can see him being about 6'4", 200 when he get to school. This is a sophomore, right?
Yeah, sophomore.
Yeah, these ain't babies, man.
No, sir. No, sir.
These are not babies. He got a long time. Great finish. And being a big body like that and being comfortable within that 6'3" frame, being rangy, knowing how to be able to catch in different angles. You know, this is a kid that has the hands we've been looking for. It's one thing to have the speed, but if you got a guy that has consistent hands, you're in a good spot. Hey, he got to put that special team tape on there too. You know why? Because he's trying to get in there that freshman year. That's what Marcus Freeman said is the outlier. Who would try to get on their special teams? Oh, yeah. High point to football, competitive. It don't matter. He's not afraid either. He ain't jumping, shying away. He jumping to get the ball first. Yep. Good back shoulder attention. Way to compete. This is that upgrade of a Deion Colsley. This is that upgrade of a JT. This is that upgrade of our bigger receivers that we have. Guys that are rangy, guys that may not be the fastest, but have good routes, can catch the football in traffic, and high point the football. Look at this finish. That's just tough. And the best quality all three of these guys have is that they have yards after catch. They just do it in different ways. He's gonna have the jump ball come down with it and still get some yards. Look at that. Good little chicken wing, maybe a little too much of a shove, but he got it though. Concentration levels there. He's not catching with his body necessarily. Hands, right?
Left, you're liking these Texas receivers in this class now, Left. You kind of You know, I know how you feel about Texas wide receivers, but
the reason why is because they run on air. A lot of them run on air. They're not running against nothing that's putting no pressure on them. Now, they was playing against DeSoto and Duncanville and all these big-time Texas teams, Gale and all that. Okay, but, hey, I like the fact that he's competitive. He's strong hands. This is probably the best kid I've seen so far in terms of hands, high pointing the football, catching in traffic, that sort of thing. I don't necessarily love the jumping too much when you catch. You try to avoid it as much as you can. But the fact that the kid can do that and then some, it's a nice role player on a team where he looks comfortable not being number one necessarily. But in that red zone, he's going to get an opportunity to make plays, and that's where he's going to shine. And Denbrock's really used to having guys like that can be big, and then we call your number to come in. Mm-hmm. And that 30 going into the end zone, hell, we ain't gonna make it hard. Run a vertical, see if you can get up on the dude. Because sometimes about simple is better.
Jordan Clay, James Madison High School. Left. I'm sure you have your favorites in mind already. So we'll wait until the end. I have one more. You know, we had to go to modern day. Modern day. Kaden Dixon-Wyatt, 6'1", 172, Modern Day High School out of California. And left. One of my favorite players is also as modern day in the entire 26th class. I can't wait to show you his film, but that's when we get to the defensive side of the ball. But this is Kaden Dixon-Wyatt, Modern Day High School, 6'1", 172.
Yeah, long strider, good speed, good finish.
They're playing at the Coliseum, too.
Now, I do know that this competition is A1. They're not going against any children of the corn or the blind and deaf or, you know, the orphanage. These are going against solid competition. And
oh, shit.
Yeah. He definitely gives the West Coast Marquise Lee, Robert Woods.
Marquise Lee is a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, that type of vibe, the real we cross you up like basketball out here. These is the football, basketball receivers that know how to incorporate crossovers and all that stuff into their game. I like that he plays big. You know, 6'1", he plays with some range. He's a big body out there. Get off me. Yeah, if they throwing up to a 6'1" guy with versatility and feet like that, he's an athlete. He's something that has good body control. He can walk the tightrope, still make a big play, catching traffic. Very complete receiver so far. And he looks the part, too. That's the other thing. Sometimes you just got to look the part. He's more fast and quick. So it will be nice to see him get off the line a little bit, but when he gets going, he's going. And he's hard to stop. So good catching traffic, way to take a hit.
And these kids play at some nice stadiums, man, nowadays. Boy, that's what I see. Every time I look at film, I look at the fields, and I'm like,
great catch. And I think a lot of
facilities have come a long way for high school. Yeah.
You said facilities?
Facilities for high schoolers have come a long way, bro.
Well, for certain schools, hell.
Well, I tell you, CPS is still playing in the same stadiums.
Man, they have dirt tracks. They have dirt tracks around the field still for some of these schools. It's crazy. Yeah. I didn't know that you can still. I didn't know you run and have track meets on dirt tracks. That's just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he may not be the kids we were watching earlier. That's just like, man, give me the ball. I'm finna dance out here. But he's more of the receiver type that, okay, I understand timing. I understand I got a high point. I understand my situational football. He's playing at a great program. They have some really good concepts. He may not be the kid that's going to take a 10 to a 35, 40, But he's a kid on third down. You need to run the route right where he needs to be and rely on his possession catching and being fancy when he needs to, catching in traffic. He's a reliable receiver. Sometimes with these playmaking guys, they're just so talented that sometimes they do too much. This is a kid that just knows his lane. He's used to playing amongst other good competition as well as playing on a team with other good players. I think this is more of an adjustable guy to come in and be more ready to play day one and kind of get the flow of things a little faster because he knows how to fit in certain offenses due to the fact that he's probably not getting every target at modern day.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
He may be a number one, but they got anything you want over there. So for him to find his way and still be an impactful player, especially getting the attention of Notre Dame and Mike Brown, shows that they believe that his complement to that receiver room is what matters. Because sometimes it's about chemistry as well when you recruit these kids. You bringing in these high flyer, freak athletic kids that are just so used to a certain way, right? And for a kid like this to play in the place he's playing, on the team he's playing with, and understanding how, it's not always about being the best player on the team, but being a contributor to a team, that's really good amongst other talent. That's a win for me, because now I don't have to talk you off the ledge every time you don't get 10 receptions, because that's kind of where the culture can be swayed for some of these receivers, where their expectations coming in is a little higher than the reality of how you fit into the offense, because sometimes you got to wait your turn. That's just how it goes.
Man, how difficult is that? Like, because Cam Williams is going through that right now. Like, dude, trying to figure out. I'm walking in the room with Bo Collins, Chris Mitchell, Jaden Harrison. I'm still trying to show that I'm the dude, or I am a dude.
Yeah, it's one of those places you just cannot get comfortable in going through that filtering process. Getting you in, getting you adapted, working you in the system, because you can fall asleep at the wheel. And then you look behind you, you're like, oh, shoot, they got another freakier Cam Williams coming in. So you got to be on your job, because it's the same as, rookie year in the NFL. Everybody's giving you commercials and you getting the spotlight and all that. By your third year, you a player in the NFL. Nobody giving you that same love. So you still got to be able to perform and be on your P's and Q's when all the glitz and glamour goes away. And that's sort of where Cam Williams has to define his not only his role, but define his talent and his technique in the years where you may not be the poster child for the game coming up this weekend, right? You got to be that supporting third role. I think Ohio State has done a great job of integrating guys from not being the star into getting him into that level. One, because you got a quarterback that's just throwing it all the way around the yard. So he's giving everybody chances. But two, having that right development of, okay, we're losing Chris Olave, we got Garrett Wilson. Losing Garrett Wilson, we got Marvin Harrison. Losing Marvin Harrison, we got Mbuke or something like that. So those are that can only be managed right with a great receiver coach and an offense that's giving that receiver room opportunities. You look at Alabama when they had that stacked receiver room. You look at Ohio State when they had that stacked receiver room. Even Clemson when they had that stacked receiver room. The receivers were the focus of those teams offensively. Yeah, they got running backs. They can run the football. They had Najee at Alabama and all that. But that receiver room is what was taking it over the top. But you got to feed it as well. So us being able to feed that room is my only question, because we haven't done it before. Like I said, our limit is 2,800 yards. Now you got all this talent in this receiving room for 2,800 yards, and I don't think that can last much longer. So until we prove we can get a quarterback which are all unproven. I'm even saying Riley's unproven. Steve ain't thrown over 1,000 yards yet. So it's important to know our ceiling of where we are as a quarterback room and how that can affect that receiver room starting day one. But we definitely can't handle. Man, it would be such a disappointment. Hell, if we had 3,500 yards, we have to be in the 38, 41, 4,200 yard range if we want to see the most out of that receiver room this year, which means it might take away from the run a little bit, but it's going to require them quarterbacks to play a lot better also. And if you want to be in New York, that 39, 42 range with about 48 touchdowns, that's where you got to be. Because we got the talent to get it. So we'll see how it goes.
I got one more for you, Left. Calvin Russell. Northwestern, very popular high school down in Miami, right? Direct feed. You know, Roosevelt is probably happy because, you know, this is a feeder school for the Miami Hurricanes. And look, Left, you talking about 6'5", 185. Hey, measurables? Yes, sir.
I must have pulled him off the basketball court.
And you're probably going to like the quarterback, too. He's a lefty.
Oh, yeah. We already should be recruited by Notre. Look at that. Look at that. We ain't got that in the room. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's
sir.
him. Well, see, that's him playing quarterback. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He won them. Just give him the ball. You know, love the fact that he's so football.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't care about all the technique. He's a football player. I think this player defines exactly what Marcus Freeman wants to build in an ideological situation. We can put him at quarterback, receiver, running back. Hell, if we need somebody's down on defense, he go over there, make a tackle or two. This is the type of player that encapsulates what Notre Dame wants to become.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, this is just making plays. He probably couldn't even tell you what the play was. That's what I like. He's like, Coach, I don't know. I just saw him open. I like to hear that. We need a couple guys like that. You know, you need a couple guys like that. And then add the physicality and the size, which Marcus Freeman is adding to this team. Because just when you thought it couldn't get no bigger, he finds bigger. And you got a 6'5" guy like this that's fluid. He's not just stuck to trying to be Randy Moss. He's like, man, Coach, I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play, Coach. Because in a minute, he got more talent than Riley. If we just taking it in the vacuum, definitely got more talent than Riley. And that may be me hating on Riley, but I mean, you can't deny some of this stuff that this kid is doing. Stuff you can't teach. The college game makes it tougher because you got to be a little more technical, a little more skilled, a little more locked in, a little more focused, which I think is the gap or the curve that you have to overcome with some of these kids that just like, man, at these high schools, you'll be surprised what they tell these kids that they can do in terms of structure.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd be like, man, line up and line up and back up. Let him do his thing.
Facts.
So, love the fact that we get an opportunity to be on these guys' radars. Coach Kelly would have never recruited this kid because he wouldn't know what to do with him. Tommy definitely wouldn't have. So, this is I think, a learning process. It plays into it as well. To how do we take these type of kids and these athletes that we're getting and put them in a system where everybody can produce or at least be productive. But I mean, this stuff right here is what you want to see when we go out there and take all them recruiting trips. When you're like, man, what y'all out there doing? Y'all just flying around, and this is who we're flying around for.
Yeah, this dude is wildcatting.
Yeah, I mean,
split out screens, post routes, corner routes.
We've never had a player on the roster like that since Marcus Freeman has been there. The last player to do something kind of similar was Kyron Williams. The only thing Kyron didn't do was play quarterback that year. He was the most productive on the team. But this kid here can do quarterback, wildcat, receiver, running back if you need him. Hey, he can line up anywhere. We haven't had a player like that. The player we was looking at that like last year was Jordan Faison.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd take my chances with a kid like this if we can keep him there, you know. But you add that to the fact that we have a very dominant run game with very talented running backs. The balance is which way we gonna lean. Are we trying to keep it 50-50? Or are we gonna lean heavier towards the more talented room? And I think this is a job that Denbrock can handle gracefully because he's been around that, you know, and I think even more than LSU, Notre Dame is getting recruits in there that we're stacking talent. We're definitely stacking talent. So, you know, you don't want to forget the guys we brought in with the Aeneas Williams and these multifaceted, multi-versatile players that at some point offense gets a lot simpler when you get kids like this. Offense gets real simple.
Mm-hmm.
2015 simple. Hell, we running right. Stop us.
Man.
we running left. Try to tackle us because we mowing stuff. We blocking you down the field, all of that. So I think that's kind of what they probably want to get back to because the more simple it is, the more guys you can get in and rotate and have a good time and really put numbers up on the board.
Lucky Lefty podcast. I'm trying to think. What was the last Miami receiver to actually do something in the league?
Yeah.
Maybe Roosevelt has the answer. Because he probably has to go back to the 90s.
Because we got receivers right now in the league that we could call off from Notre Dame. Right now.
What was the last receiver from Miami to do something in the league? Because he said, don't recruit this kid because he's coming to the U. To do what? Rock?
Yeah, it's interesting. They get a lot of kids like that at the U and just never hear from them again.
Because y'all definitely don't have no quarterbacks. While you're sitting up there talking, you definitely don't have any quarterbacks. Moss, that's back in the early 2000s, right?
Oh, y'all got something after that. Come on now. I got something.
Ooh, I'm really because Andre came before them. Santana, Dev, Hester was, that's still the same era, 2000s.
Yeah, probably can't name no one sooner.
They don't have a Will Fuller. They don't. And our quarterbacks look a little bit better than Berrios, Braxton Berrios. That's a name.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's worked his way up.
He's decent. He's decent.
Yeah, he plays for the Jets. That's because he played for a sorry team, so he's sticking around on a sorry team. Shit. No. I'm sorry. He plays for Miami now. He plays for Miami now.
Yeah, he's with the home team. You're right.
But he started with the Jets. That's how he lasted long because he was a sorry team.
At the left, to turn around. Remember, we had our guy Bruce Feldman on, and this was prophetic. When Marcus Freeman got the job, he said Notre Dame has to change the quarterback and wide receiver rooms. He said that's the only problem with Notre Dame.
That's the only problem.
That's literally what he said when Marcus Freeman took the position. They're on the right road, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I think Marcus Freeman took it's not even that he took heed. Marcus Freeman knows. He's watching it every Saturday like, man, this is boring. Where the playmakers at? We got this Drew Pine and Sam Hartman. Guys ain't, getting the ball. Like, we running the ball 100 times versus Ohio State. We trying to grind out these wins when we're more talented than these teams. It wasn't making sense. We're more talented than teams and going 17-17 in the fourth quarter. How? More talented than teams, and we got to win on a 3rd and 12 running play against a team that we should have been blowing the doors off of. So marquee players, exciting players, screen poppers. Marcus Freeman said, I'm on a mission for it. And he's changing in both rooms drastically and really fast. Because it's going to look different when that Deuce Knight comes in the room. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. He walk in the room. Okay, we address the issue. We at least address the optics issue. That's another thing Notre Dame was bad at, optics.
Mm.
We have the optics now. We look like a football team at the right positions. Where you like, ooh, where you get that guy from? He ain't just walking down the street. We had a lot of common folks outside of our O-line and tight ends that was walking around on the offensive side. Commoneers.
Yeah.
Postmen, plumbers, accountants, humanitarian leaders, business dignitaries. We had all that, but we didn't have no freaking nation football player where it's like, oh, your only job in life is football.
I'm glad you said that. When we come back, we're going to talk about freaking natures, but something else that's needed. And I'm interested in getting your feedback on this. Freaking natures, but something else that's needed. And I'll have a prime example of a kid that you played with. Lucky Lefty podcast. Be with us, man. We'll come back and talk about that and much more right here. We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty podcast. SD2 Mike, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. Brought to you by ONORA Whiskey and ONORAWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey and ONORAWhiskey.com. 18 wide receiver offers. We did not watch film on all, but we gave you our top guys on the list. And based upon what you saw, LL Nation, who do you like? Who do you like? Who are your top guys? We just gave you the film, the rundown. I'll go over the names of the film evaluations we just gave to you. Devin Carter, Cedar Grove High School, Georgia, 6 foot 184. Naim Burrow out of Bowl School down in Florida, 6 foot 161. Jordan Clay, James Madison High School down in San Antonio, Texas, 6'3", 184. Then Dylan Faison, we didn't watch his film, but we talked about him. First commitment in the 26th class, 5'11", 170 out of St. Andrew's School down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Then we watched Kaden Finley, Aledo High School, Aledo, Texas, 6 foot, 192 pounds. Kaden Dixon-Wyatt, Mater Dei High School, 6'1", 172 pounds. And then to close it off, Calvin Russell, Northwestern High School down in Miami, Florida, 6'4", 181 pounds. Who was your favorite film evaluation out of the wide receivers that we showed? And we didn't even show all of them left. There is no Jaden Thomas in this film evaluation.
No Deion Cosley in there. No Bo Collins in there.
Well, not as far as types. As far as types. We're talking about that. Their film.
We've put ourselves in a position where we're changing the optics. We're changing what the room looks like. You're not going to go into that receiver room and be like, oh, okay, he's doing this, he does that. Now you go into that receiver room being like, he can do everything. He's really fast. He's a freak of nature. His hands are the best. How are we putting this together? Let's not turn into the Darvin Ham in rotation. This formula got to be right. You got to put enough of the pieces on the board to where the quarterback can feel right. The play caller can know the flow of how things are happening from a rotation, a substitution, a who's my dog, who's not my dog, who's the hottest one right now. Because now you're in a position where you can mess it up by not putting guys in the right spots on the field. Because at this point, we got the talent. This is not a, bring a bunch of help for one guy. This is like any of these guys can be the guy. We just got to make sure they're in the right spot and in connection with the quarterback. So for me, it's hard to say a favorite because it changes when you're playing for a team that asks you for certain things.
Well, I'll tell you my 3 favorites. Kaden Finley from Aledo, Texas.
Okay, yes, you're right. That was my favorite. He had the best.
Calvin Russell is just unfair. Like you said, he's just a freak athlete. I mean, I'm just putting, because we say freak athlete, you think about Randy Moss type. I'm not saying he's Randy Moss. That's not what I'm saying.
No, we're not saying.
I'm just talking about the size, the length, the playmaking ability, special teams, wildcat. He's just, you don't see that. You just don't see that. And then I'm going to be flat out honest with you, Lef. I understand, sometimes you take issue with Texas wide receivers, but Devin Carter, I was thinking about putting that cat, Naim Burrows, not Naim Burrows, but why is his name? Because I have Jordan Clay in my top 3. No, Jordan Clay. That's the other kid I was going to put in my top 3 from Texas. But Naim Burrows, man, and Devin Carter, they just make it hard. They make it hard. And the reaction you had immediately to Devin Carter. As soon as we turned on the film, he was like, oh, yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, he just takes off. And I think we've been chasing that type of talent since Will. Chasing he's on turbo since the go. Who is that guy for us? And I think we're getting closer to finding that pure talent like that. Now, we got to get these guys to commit. But for them to have our hat in the bucket is something that we have made huge strides for.
I take that back. You said that about Kaden Finley when you saw his film.
Yes.
That's the kid, and you were like, oh, okay, he's bad. But I like Devin. As well. Lucky Lefty podcast. I want to get your comment on this because we're talking about wide receiver room changing narratives, right? Billy Donovan. First of all, you know what? Before I get to this, because you inspired me, Left. You inspired me because you said Darvin Ham. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. You Darvin Ham. You did say Darvin Ham. Yes.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Is this right?
Right away.
Who was that?
He goes way up and over Austin Reeves.
Oh, my goodness.
What a way to start the game.
That's going to be on television tonight. I mean, he just takes off and goes up over him. And one.
Wait, bro. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the LL Nation poll of the day. The flat out poll of the day. I have 2 questions. Who did it better? Jalen Johnson, or
another turnover for Utah. Edwards gets it. Threw it down and one. Immediately looked down at his hand. After the dunk.
Left. I don't know. Left. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I play devil's advocate? Can I play devil's advocate? Dude, look. John Collins is a bigger defender. We're not about to sit up here and poo-poo Jalen Johnson like your man didn't jump over.
He jumped over him. Yes, that's what I'm like. It's Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves was 6'3". They do that in dunk contests every time.
Man, Austin Reeves is not 6'3".
Yeah, he's about 6'3", 6'4".
Dude, I knew. Boy, this is your Laker fandom coming through right now.
Listen,
that was nasty, bro.
There was nothing better than that John Collins. He's got the most posterized dunks that are memorable. Ant does. Oh, I can't even remember nobody more than him.
Without question. Just this season. If we just go on this season.
Yeah, we ain't talking all the time. We just this season alone.
Hey, within the last 2 months. If we just go within the last 2 months.
Look at how high he got on that block just last week.
Mhm.
Just like it was just last week. It wasn't even like it was just last week where he hit his head on the rim. This man got to file insurance for health insurance because he had broke his hand dunking on somebody, hit his head, got a concussion from hitting his head on the rim. I mean, he's dangerous around that basket. Jalen Johnson, first of all, he ain't got enough star power.
See, now it's not about the stardom. I just asked who did it better. But then this is the B part. Austin Reeves might have got embarrassed a little more.
Yes, so Jalen Johnson's was
first of all, that's LA. First of all, John Collins was in Utah. They got Austin Reeves was in front of stars.
Yeah.
He went out
all the actors and actresses.
Yes, absolutely. Jamie Foxx stood up. Jamie Foxx stood up on the sideline like, yo, fam. Yo, this how we starting the game? This how we starting the game?
Yeah. So that's more embarrassing. And in the post-game interview, the reporter's like, so what happened? He said, I knew I didn't like you, man. I knew I didn't like you. He said, everybody saw what happened. He said, I know, but just explain it. Like, did you taste him? I mean, the way he dunked on you, it was crazy.
Wait a minute. Oh, man, was
oh, man.
Oh, was that which cartoon was that? It was like an old school cartoon on MTV. My salty, just put them in your mouth. Remember that? What was that?
Yes, I remember that. I can't remember the show name, but I do remember
Salty Ball song. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's
he had to. It was so bad that he knew he was about to eat him, so he had to turn away and fall down because he literally jumped over him.
Yes. Cartman from South Park. Yes. Cartman from South Park. Thank you.
It was just
the Chief. Oh, South Park was the best. South Park was the best. Oh, wow. Austin Reeves. Yeah, my man.
Right away.
Who was that?
Jalen Johnson. He goes right up and over Austin Reeves.
Why is Rui looking down at him like, you all right?
No, for real. You had to go check on him.
Rui.
You had to go check on him.
Right away.
Who was that?
Jalen Johnson. He goes right up and over Austin Reeves.
You can't even
my
look at
goodness.
I can't even look at you.
What a way to start.
I'm gonna help you up, but I can't even look at you. But that's too embarrassing.
Anytime,
get up.
Anytime the home fans stand up on their own player.
Yeah, he didn't drop nothing on him. Well, you got to stand up to shake something. No. He said, hold on. Am I in the right place or is this the carnival? Because I'm seeing some acrobats right now. Like, what the hell? But I do think that if you think about it, Jalen Johnson doing that in the 90s just shows you the different athleticism that's out there.
I agree with that.
Doing like Jalen Johnson in the 90s doing that, he's on an all-time highlight reel. The dunks from this last month, from not just him, but Ant and all the rest of them.
Man.
I mean, the athleticism in the NBA is crazy.
Let me tell you how boring Milwaukee is, love. Ladies and gentlemen, what stadium could you, if you had an off week during your time in Notre Dame, would you have ever, let's say Michigan was playing Alabama at the Big House and you all had an off week and one of your best friends played for Michigan, would you go to the Michigan-Alabama game at the Big House?
Yes.
You would?
If they played at Michigan and it's Michigan, Alabama, absolutely.
You would?
With
so
safety,
I thought it was absolutely petty last night. This cat, Dame, was at the Bulls game because the Bulls were playing the Portland Trailblazers. This guy.
Oh, wait. Am I still playing, though?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Not if I'm still playing. No.
Not now. I'm talking about as a player. You got an off week. And you travel up to the Big House to watch Michigan play Alabama. Would you do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. No, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have no interest in that only because it's like, now to be fair, we as couple guys on the team. We have gone up to other schools, but it ain't been for no sport events.
Oh, no. I know what it's for, but definitely it's not for sporting events. I feel you. That's why we made the trip.
We go up there, but we ain't watching.
That's why we made the trip to other Big Ten schools. We actually went to the game too, but that was like the B part.
The game is slowing us down when we up there.
Shout out to East Lansing and Michigan State. Y'all know how to park. Flat out. Shout out to Madison, Wisconsin. Shout out to the Badgers. State Street is lit.
Big shout out to Madison. So I wouldn't go see no games, but I would be up there.
This cat Dame was on the sideline for Bulls. He played for the Trailblazers.
Wait, he was on the sideline too?
I'm talking about first row.
Man, let it go, Dame.
First row.
They traded you for a reason.
First row. Now that is a true indictment. There's nothing else in Milwaukee on your off day.
He told you that he just be playing video games and sitting in the crib all day. He said, I live a real boring life.
He did say that. And he watched a good game. Anthony Simons missed a 3-pointer at the buzzer. It rammed in and out. He's had a great game. Anthony Simons is his young bull. He's his young bull. He wanted to come see one of his good friends, Anthony Simons, and some of his former teammates in the Blazers. But that's why I asked that question, because I thought it was strange. I understand the connection. He was a Blazer for a long time. I know it's pretty boring in Milwaukee, but hey, man, I just cannot see myself on my off day going to watch another team play. That's like Riley Leonard going back to Durham to watch Duke play during the bye week.
Yeah, it's like you could only go back, in my opinion, if you like the man, like you just the height of the sport at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can freely travel. But if you 2,800 yards, man, don't go back to Duke. If you 2,800 yards and you 7-5, don't go back to Duke, bro.
So Billy Donovan last night, I couldn't find the audio or video. And last night, post-game, Ayo DeSumo has really come into his own. Kobe White. Has come into his own. Kobe White has been injured lately. Ayo has been the starting point guard. He had his career high 36 points the other night, followed that up with another 23, and then last night had 24 and 7 against the Blazers. And he was asked about the development of both his young guards. And first, I want to ask you, do you just play guys? Or is there a pace to development? That's part A. But also, this is something he said. He said, I've never seen anybody develop and take a jump bigger than Joakim Noah. He said Joakim Noah went from getting 6 minutes a night to being the number 1 pick in the draft, projected. And he chose to come back for another year.
Oh, this is when they was winning championships.
Yeah. He said he was projected as the number 1 pick in the draft and bypassed that to come back.
Now that's lucky.
Championship.
That's a lucky, very, very fortunate. Lucky.
And still ended up a very high pick.
Right.
Still ended up a very high pick. That was the Greg Oden draft, where I don't know why everybody thought Greg Oden was going to be a dude. I watched the Big Ten tournament up close and personal and was like,
what do you mean? That's a freak of nature.
Nah, he ain't have it.
Like LeBron said, the draft is about potential.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It don't even matter, you know.
My overriding point that ties into what you just said about Greg Oden. Physically, freak of nature.
Freak of nature, yeah. It's like
Billy Donovan said something. He said, look, man. He said, when it comes to desire, he said, everybody wants to talk about development in the NBA. He said, every NBA team has great facilities, great staff, great information, latest technology, latest things that make guys better. He said, man, if these dudes don't have the desire to be great, it's nothing we can do. He said, none of that matters.
Yeah.
If the player doesn't have the desire. That's the difference, Left. That's the difference. That's why when people start talking about 3-star, you know how many 5 stars flop every year?
A lot. LeBron said it yesterday. He said, man, if you just relying on just playing the game and you waiting for that the dude to throw the ball up in the middle of the court and you're not obsessed with outside of that and getting ready for the game every day, you're just gonna run out of I don't even know what you call it. You run out of that musk.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just playing the play and you just happy to be there and all that, LeBron, I keep bringing it up to LeBron because I saw it this morning, but he was absolutely right. If you're just relying on talent and having fun and all that, you have to make sacrifices where you have to have a consistent everyday schedule where you give up a lot of things, especially family member type things, if you want to have a long career. Because you just can't. Too many things happen in a day if you don't have a schedule. Like if you don't have that schedule where you get up, work out, you come home, take a rest, work out again, go to sleep, that whole thing. If you're not consistent on that every day, you naturally lose a certain percentage as the season goes on. You lose a certain percentage as the years go on.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that the people behind you always end up catching up to you because the fire's hotter when you first start. The reason LeBron make it so long because the fire stayed hot.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't rely on just being the best driver of all time to the basket. He had to be like, damn, I got to step in the league in 2008. I got to start learning how to shoot. And it ain't been great, but he's learned enough to continue to stay in the league because you can always make your game better.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of these super, super, super uber talented guys like Zion is realizing, yeah, you got to keep your weight the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be, living it up like you've been living it up or your game going to suffer like it had. Couldn't stay healthy to stay on the court. Now
Mm-hmm.
his ass lost 25 pounds. He dropped some of that crazy girl drama. He had his baby mama at the game. He trying to be the fan, whatever. But his game is aligning to how you live off the court. So that's just one of those semblance of life, I guess. If you really want something, the commitment level is bigger than just the action that you like doing,
Yeah, Chris Mitchell talked about that. Listen,
people don't talk about my speed enough. I feel like they think I'm like a 4'4" guy, but I'm much faster than that, and they'll know soon.
No, that's drive. See that guy right there? What you're hearing is drive. Like, all right, I know y'all saying I'm good, but just wait. Just wait. Might not be 70 catches like an FIU. 45, 50, averaging 17, 18 yards a catch. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
all we asking.
Just like
I don't feel like that's too much to ask.
I'm sorry for saying you were 4'4". I apologize.
We apologize.
We apologize. We take it all back. Show us. And you know what he did the first day of practice? He showed us. He showed everybody. Everybody. I talked to a defensive recruit that was there at the practice. I said, yo, who stood out to you? Oh, what's that new dude at wide receiver? Oh, yeah. You talking about Chris Mitchell? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir. The ZAIRE. I think Billy Donovan was spot on, man.
Yeah.
And I think it's something I try to say it clearly when I tell people, man, we can sit up here and watch film. We watch film and give our opinion. But my opinion does not determine someone's path.
It don't.
It's up to that individual, man. I don't care. And we're watching film on sophomores. And it's amazing how people will just put a tag on a kid. That's a sophomore. As if they don't have time to grow.
Yeah.
Flourish.
I mean, I think a lot of it too, people surprised that these kids are this damn good this early. It's like, wow, you doing things that I wasn't doing at that stage and age. But at the same time, that to keep that up for so long is the problem. And guys, as much as they go hard now, don't realize because it takes 21 years to be 21. So it's through the time you realize that you're 10 and you still
why, unless you are the elite of the elite, why does it seem like the first album for every artist is their best album? Because it takes a lifetime to make. Every other
lifetime
album
stories on that first track.
Lifetime stories. That's why the first album is always considered, that's the classic.
Oh, easily.
Like that's
Especially
the best album.
Yeah.
Now you have like talents that are able to like take it to the next level and create better pieces of artwork or creativity. Yeah, there's some Stevie Wonders out there that can put together a great first album and then come with Keys of Life, and you're like, what in the world is this? Prince, his first album, and then he comes back to Purple Rain, but he's just a different breed. But most artists, man,
Yeah, Prince, you can't.
You know, when you spend your
whole artist,
man,
he's committed to the craft in totality. You like
right when you do like when you create an off the wall and you follow that up with Thriller. I'm you're up here. Like I can't even consider you a normal.
Yeah, because you're not because whatever you were singing about, you like that off the mic, out the studio. So now your whole perception is you an artist. Some of these guys, you know, they go in there, record a couple songs, and go hang out and be a normal person. When you were that leader of elite, you that person the whole time. So that mystique builds, and you different. Like Prince obviously was different. They said at some point this man would be floating around. How the hell the man be floating? No,
and he could hoop. The crazy thing, he could hoop.
He just happened to hoop.
So
and multiple people say that. It ain't just like, oh, one-off story. No. And to be that talented, I think it just flourished into other things. Like you just overflow your bucket of talent, and you so much talent, you just happen to be good at everything. Some people, like Ant, is just uber talented, where it's just like, man, you can do anything and be the best at it, damn near.
Yeah.
And some people are like that. I think it's a commitment that it takes to be like that.
It is crazy because, you know, it's the same thing recruiting and the players currently on the roster at Notre Dame. Ladies and gentlemen, man, there's some kids at every program, 4-star, 5-star, whatever they are just blessed, and they're just going to be dudes. Just certain kids, they just have it. And the people that evaluate, look, I tell you all the time, man, the evaluation room for ESPN, they don't have a lot of people. You know why I left? I go get some people off the street to look at film and identify the easy ones. Everybody in the world knows the 5 stars. You don't even have to have an eye for football to know, oh, that's different. You don't. The eye for football comes when you have to find the gems, whether they're 4-star, need to be 5-star, whether they're 3-star, need to be 4-star. That's true film evaluation. No rocket science to tell us Jay Daniels and Caleb Williams are 1 and 2 in the draft. What do we need to watch, Lev? What do we need to watch? Now, I hope you're doing your homework if you're taking J.J. McCarthy in the top 10. I hope you're finding something that you can really invest in. Do we really need to evaluate Marvin Harrison Jr. to know he's a dude?
I mean, they picked him to death, though. They done got him behind neighbors and all this other stuff.
Did we really have to film evaluate Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase coming off their 2019 LSU team?
Oh, no. That one season, that's all I needed to see. That's all.
People ask, oh, man, I broke down Jamar Chase's film. For what? It's evident. Are you really wild by C.J. Stroud? Just go watch the game against Georgia. What are we talking about? Were you wild by Deshaun Watson? Go watch the back-to-back games against Alabama, man. This is the thing that kills me, man. People talk about rankings. Yes, I would love for Notre Dame to get guys that everybody knows off the rip he's a dude. Yes, I would like more of those dudes at Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're not shy to bring the most talented we can find and put them in the same room because.
But until we get to the point.
Yeah, because if anything, it's going to be
better help
for
us. Yeah. But until we get to the point where we can pull those dudes, we're supposed to just give up. We're not supposed
that's
to
my
evaluate.
thing. Yeah. Oh, we supposed to take lesser talent and hit the whole facade of, oh, we're going to develop these guys from 3 stars to and
I say this
good with some of them.
Yeah.
But you don't want to live like that.
I say this respectfully. And if it doesn't come across that way, then I'll apologize. I mean, I'll say my bad in advance. Malik, you played with two players that were gifted and talented, and they just didn't have the desire. I'll let you think on it. One was an offensive lineman and one was a wide receiver. Just ridiculously talented. Literally just walk on the field.
I was on the team?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you say ridiculously talented, like 3 and out talented.
Look, Steve Elmer.
You got me thinking now.
Steve Elmer and Corey Robinson.
Oh.
Both players should have been first, second round picks in the NFL draft. Easy.
1,000,000%.
Easy.
Steve was on his way. That's why I think he stands still. It gives you nightmares.
Yes. He's told you this. Like, yo.
Because he couldn't believe. He's like, wait a minute, dude. You're so good and did so well, and you just walking away. It just didn't rack in he stands mind, because the way Steve did, he just showed up to office one day and said, hey, I'm out of here, man. I'll hit you up later. I see you. I'm good. I'm tapped out. I done gave all I got. What? Man, he almost gave, he said, a heart attack that day. Because everybody was like, wait, this is the highest level of football.
And nobody had a clue. You didn't have a clue. You roomed with the dude at a certain point.
Said, look, I'm interested in doing this, man. This is where I want to be.
That's his passion. That was his passion.
And then you follow that up with Corey. Corey, the #1 receiver sophomore year, projected on all the draft boards, this and that. You let him know he's in the study hall. You let him know, hey, Corey, you know you about to be the man. Like, what? What? I want to be student class president and then work in New York at an art studio. Wait, why you want to? But then to go out there and practice and one hand all the corners and dunk on everybody and make great catches. And he was so good. He would sit there in the game and be like, Chris Brown, you go ahead and take this one. I don't even, you good. Because he knows that Chris Brown wanted it more. And he was cool with it. He was like, man, you go ahead and take this rep, man. I know you want this one. Then we get down close enough. They be like, Corey. And he got to find his helmet. You know, he just chilling. You know, he ain't going there and make a game-winning touchdown. So sometimes guys got it like that. And it makes a lot of guys frustrated sometimes because, you know, you have those two, Steve and Corey. And then the flip side, you get a Jalen and Will. All four of those guys, they don't have to try too hard to be super impactful. 2 went 3 and out, and it looks really easy. And you're like, damn, why can't I just be easy like that? Just go in there, play 3 years, do great, and you'll go to the league. And you got 2 guys that same thing, do great, play 3 years, and they're like, you know what? I'm good, bro. Probably that's what Notre Dame is. 2 of the most extremes. You can't go anywhere else in college football and find 2 kids like Steve and Corey. You can't do it. Not on no serious football team. Where you the damn near highly touted player, projected, all that, and you walk away. Not in today's climate. And then on the same team, you got 2 guys that are 3 and out first-round picks. Like, come on. Same level of production. Just insane.
It's crazy, man. So just keep that in mind, right? Because we look at these rankings, we look at these ratings. Look, I'm more inspired by the coaching staff. See, things change when you get different eyes in evaluation. Things change when you have coaches that actually embrace the job of a coach and what that entails on and off the field. Look, man, it just is what it is. There's a limited supply of special dudes every year. Like we act like Notre Dame is out there competing against like 3 or 4 teams for the special dudes. Like everybody in the nation wants the special dude. Everybody in the Big Ten wants the special dude. Everybody in the SEC wants the special dude. Everybody in the ACC wants the special dude. Everybody on the West Coast wants the special dude.
Yes, I got you. I was just fixing the audio.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's like, man, I just don't know. I don't know, man. There's a difference between talent and desire. and just give me a bunch of kids. If you're gonna give me a bunch of kids with talent that are 5 stars that don't have desire, give me the 3 and 4 stars that have desire. Give me that. Because them dudes that's gonna quit on me, no disrespect. I'm just saying, I would much rather coach the other guys. That's my preference. We're about to get out of here. Beef Eater NDO8. I just saw my name in a question mark. How do you evaluate what's between a kid's ears? Caleb has talent, but may be a prima donna. How do you defend investing the money and waiting for him to mature to ownership? I don't defend anything. I don't have to defend anything. You look into anybody's past, you're gonna find good and you're gonna find bad. Once again,
this is it's crazy how they treat Caleb with the media attention stuff, because I think that's
it is literally society being driven and not understanding they live by their opinions, because that's social media. Everybody believes their opinion is uber valuable.
That's right.
No matter what I say about Caleb Williams or what I think about Caleb Williams, I don't decide his fate, Left. I don't decide when he grows up. I don't decide when it clicks for him. I don't. If I was the GM, I'm not worried about the opinions of others. I'm watching film. I'm trusting my scouts, because the GMs don't see. Brian Poles went to one game. You know the one game he went to? Notre Dame.
Yeah, one game.
He went to one game. His scouts went. He sent out his millions to go find me everything you got on this kid and his family. Everything going back to his childhood. And he has to make an educated decision based upon what he gets from his people. General managers are not flying around watching Caleb Williams 5-6 times a year. They're not doing that. That's when your organization and the strength of your organization comes into play.
Well, he went to Caleb and he went to Bo Nix, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
No, Matt Eberflus. No, the GM didn't go see Bo Nix. The head coach went to see Bo Nix. And he's coming to Hallis Hall. Caleb's pro day is the 20th. Yeah, his pro day is the day before Notre Dame. And then he comes to Hallis Hall next week. So, look, man, I don't get caught up in all that opinion stuff, bro. Just like I didn't get caught up in that Notre Dame game. Somebody on Twitter was like, Notre Dame broke Caleb Williams. Did you see his stats after the Notre Dame game? Hey, that's not broken to me. That's not broken to me. We didn't sit up here after he put on the show and stunned it on Notre Dame and say, oh, my God, he broke the Notre Dame defense for next year. Now, nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying that. It's just amazing, man. That's why we are really harsh watching film on sophomores and juniors in high school and saying who they can't be, what they're not. It's like, yo, relax. Man, take a more positive outlook and just allow people the opportunity to grow and get better, because they decide their fate. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. D-Dub, how bad will the Chicago media eat Caleb up if he comes to Chicago acting like a diva? Man, the Chicago media doesn't care. If the Bears are winning games, they won't give a darn. Because what happened? Justin Fields was perfect. Everybody loved him, and he's gone. Nobody cares what you do. Oh, Justin Fields, he's a great guy. He's this, he's that. He's great for the community. He's gone. You know why he's gone? He didn't win. He didn't win. Media won't give a darn. You know who else who the media love? Media love Mitch Trubisky. Loved him. Where is he at? He's gone.
Buffalo. You know, he's gonna rotate between them couple teams now.
That's why all the Notre Dame fans that were lying, talking about, I wouldn't want Caleb to be my quarterback. Oh, you don't want to be in the playoffs?
Yeah.
You don't want
They
to be in
say
the
that.
playoffs?
They say fans
So
say
that's
the darndest
exactly
things. That's
that's
what it is.
exactly
Fans
where
say
Notre
the
Dame would have
darndest
been.
things.
That's exactly where Notre Dame would have been if Caleb Williams was a quarterback for Notre Dame this year in the playoffs. I don't want anybody banging their nails as my quarterback. Man, stop that foolishness, dude. Stop.
If Caleb was at Notre Dame, we'd be pushing him to be #1 guy and all this other stuff. Especially if he won a Heisman Notre Dame. Come on, we would have been writing his ticket to go.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. It's weird. But Billy Donovan, tip of the cap to you, man, because I love the way you look at development. And Joakim Noah, who he pointed out was one of the greatest examples of development. Guess what he was coming out of high school? A 3-star until his senior year.
3-star?
He was a 3-star until late in his senior year. Went to Florida, sat on that bench. But you know what Joakim Noah has that's evident when you watch him play? Desire.
Oh, yeah, effort.
Desire. Effort. Tenacity. I'll take that. And if you get that combination of desire and 5-star talent, you get Anthony Edwards. That's what you get. You get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's what you get. You get Kobe Bryant. You get LeBron James. You get Michael Jordan. Man, as we get ready to close, Carmelo Anthony said it on his own podcast, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. He said, yo, I was better than LeBron. He said, but I could tell early that LeBron was far more committed. This is Carmelo Anthony, his contemporary, his friend, saying, I could tell early that LeBron was far more committed to greatness than I was. We're talking about two dudes, physically gifted. Carmelo was like, Bron's just, his commitment was different. He wanted it more. He had a greater desire to be who he is. I didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what anybody tells you about yourself, your children, your family, your life, your situation, man. Man, close ears. Don't grab their foolishness. Don't grab their thoughts. Get your own thoughts about yourself, because you can do anything. You can be anything in life. Log off to all of this social media and all of that other stuff. Grab hold so you know that greatness that's in you. That's all you have to do, and you can make it happen. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Great show today. Broke down the wide receivers. We'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to do running backs and tight ends, ladies and gentlemen. Running backs and tight ends. Then we'll have a practice report, pro day report, a lot of other things coming up this weekend. You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Quickly, Jalen Johnson and Edwards, man, both you guys on the petty train. Just absolutely embarrassing John Collins and Austin Reeves last night. All aboard. All aboard. To that cat Trayvon Diggs, man, get out your feelings. Get out your feelings. Trying to talk about Cam and Mace, how old they are. Look, man, I don't care how old you are. It's lame when you have all the options in the world and you decide to run up behind the same young ladies. It's just my opinion that everybody else has been with. I promise you I'm not shaming anybody. But don't get mad at the backlash when you have all the options in the world and you can put in the work to go find somebody, and you end up with somebody that has previous relationships with other pro athletes, that's what comes with the territory, my brother. If you're dating the same circle of people, backlash is gonna come from that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, backlash is coming. You knew that though. You knew when you started dating Drea that she had a son the same
And
age.
you probably had people telling you about it then too.
Absolutely. So don't get mad. Because you don't see Mason Cameron out with girls that every other rapper has been with. Cameron tells you that's a no-no. As soon as he finds out, oh, you been with him? No, we can't do that.
Yeah, it's just something that you like, man. Listen, you already out the game, man. I can't.
So,
it's an image thing, man.
we had one rule. We had one rule, me and my crew at U of I left. One rule. Let me know. Let me know. In the words of Aaliyah, let me know. Let me know. That's right. If you see me walking the quad with somebody and you know you've been there, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
And
have,
it's
have
easy.
me
Just
out
like give me the head, give me the look.
head
Give me the
nod.
head nod.
That's
You ain't
it.
got to do the embarrassing
That's it.
thing and run on Instagram. And
that's it. Don't have me out here, dude.
I'm good enough to be. Oh, yeah. Oh, we friends, shorty.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good.
Yeah. Don't do that. Just let me know. And it's a dub.
It's a dub. Yeah, it's cool.
Dub.
But you know what it is? They let them know and they still do it. That's why they mad, because they like, don't talk about me, bro. I love her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hold me accountable. Yeah, Jason.
Hold
me. Tell me I'm wrong.
Please hold me accountable. Tell me, scream it out like, bruh. No. We're not doing that. Let me know.
Cause save me from the heartache and the embarrassment. That's all.
Yeah. Then the backlash comes and cats want to sit up here and whine and complain. Why y'all talking about me? Because you look stupid.
Yeah, you look crazy out here.
You look stupid.
You got too much money to look that crazy.
I could see if it was the people that didn't have options. You have all the options.
Yeah, it's because you have all the options is why you look crazy. Nobody forced you to do that. You being in the same circles as that is crazy.
And you're too lazy.
There's a bunch of baddies out here now.
Man.
Don't know nothing about nothing. And you tripping.
Man.
Give me $100 million. I bet you'll find me with something you ain't never seen before.
Never.
You be like, how'd you? $100 million. I could do that. But if you got $100 million and everybody know your girl, you like, oh man, you wasting your money, man. Give it back, man.
Yeah. And last but not least, I don't even want to talking about you deserve to get paid for my beautiful, dark, twisted family. Man, look, man. Fantasy, man, shut up. Shut up. Just appreciate the elevation that came to your life from being next to that dude. Period. Appreciate the elevation in your life for having a child with my boy up there in Pittsburgh. Just be appreciative. What are we talking? You deserve to get paid now. You were in the studio creating beats, writing lyrics for everybody. You wrote Nicki's lyrics. You wrote Jay-Z's lyrics. You wrote Rick Ross's lyrics. Lil Wayne, you wrote their lyrics too. Come on, man.
It's the internet. The internet and these podcasts got all these dudes out here wanting to pillow talk, man. That's what it is.
Man, I see she still hasn't recovered from Jocelyn Hernandez beating her tail on TV.
That's another thing. Michael Jordan, man, talk to this man Isaiah, because he's still going on and on. He really want to be your friend, Jordan. He can't stop talking about you. He said, I'll reconcile under one condition. Oh, come on, bro. Let Michael Jordan take this man out of his misery. Invite him over to the crib, give him some J's or something, because
man. I just don't understand, man. I just don't get it, man. Are people happy in life, love?
I don't know. because
they
seem something to find a problem with everything. Everything is an issue for some of these guys.
I'm happy, bro. And I've been through some things in the last year. I am extremely happy. I'm looking forward to my birthday, my anniversary. Next month.
April's the month of champions. I'm telling you.
Yeah, blue and gold game. I'm not looking forward to May. I got 2 graduations in May. Yeah, man.
May's tough. You're gonna be sitting in that hot ass sun a long time.
Baby girl graduating, and then 4 days later, the missus is getting her master's, bro.
You're shelling out a lot of dollars in the next couple of weeks. You're gonna have to meet a lot of expectations that you gotta put in.
I apologize in advance for the entire tenor of all the shows in May, because your boy SD is gonna be like,
SD gonna be walking around pockets real light, man.
Yeah, the show opens might be a little dry in May. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Lucky Lefty podcast.
Just can't check your account before the show starts, because you're gonna be real mad. You're like, again, y'all hit me again. Y'all worse than the IRS, man, right now.
Man, running backs, tight ends tomorrow, right here, Lucky Lefty podcast for MALIK, SD2 mics, man. Have a great Tuesday, but most of all, make sure that you continue to spin it different.